numbers are pretty to me. Some have color, some numbers are ugly. Some people can see and taste color. It's all part of synesthesia. It's blended senses, and I was born with that. For the longest time, I thought it was a curse until I come to know God, and I've come to realize that it was actually a gift and a blessing. I tell people all the time that, your testimony may not be as strong as someone else's, or your testimony may be stronger than another person. Each of us are given a measure of faith, okay? So don't compare your salvation, your healing, with mine or anybody else's and make you doubt, okay? Not everybody has heard the literal voice, but they have seen God face to face. When I say that, I don't mean literally seeing his face, but they have experienced his presence. I have a good friend right now that years ago, he was scared to death about the hell doctrine. It just terrified him. And one day he just felt this strong sense that he needed to look up at the sun. And whenever he looked up at the sun, he saw it was encased in like a rainbow. And at that moment, he felt that love that words can't explain, that changed him forever, and it reassured him and let him know, don't worry about hell. Don't even give that a second thought. All right? Each and every one of us has our Moses burning bush moment. All right? And each of us are given measures of faith according to the things God will have us do while we're here in this world. I've learned over my 12 years of walking in the light now that if I want to know something, all I have to do is ask. I ask Father, hey, I want to know. The other day I asked God, I said, Lord, who are we? And when I say we, I'm talking about you guys, all of us who have experienced God's love, all right? Who are we, Lord? What is this all about? I want to know more and more and more. It's written, ask and you'll receive, And the other night, I had, it's like an open vision, I guess what you would say. I'm sorry, I got mosquitoes biting me. And I saw, it was like a drone footage from on top of a giant's head, all right? But this head was bald, and the word Golgotha in Latin is Calvary, and that means a bald-shaped head. And Golgotha means a skull, okay? What I was looking at was the top of Golgotha without the crosses. The 3 crosses were gone. But what I did see was 12 circles, like pearls, going around the skull, the head, like a crown. And each one of those circles, in the beginning, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it just kind of faded away, and within each one of those circles was the number 12,000. And as soon as I seen that, then the picture changed, and I saw 24 pearls surrounding the 12 pearls. It was like a double crown. And on the inside of each of those 24 was the number 24. The number 24 in the Hebrew language is that you can make pictographs out of the letters, okay? The Hebrew language is the language of creation, okay? It's what built this matrix, because the letters are numbers. Each letter number has a meaning. Each letter and number has a number assigned to it, all right? It's the code of creation, all right? And the number 24, whenever you put it together, it's 2 words, and it means palm, an open palm, and then the other is a door, an open door. So the number 24 means the hand that opens the door. And immediately, whenever I seen that, what it meant, I remembered Revelations, I think 3:20, where it's written, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and he opens the door, I will come in with him and sup with him. All right, in the book of Chronicles, it's written about the 24 priests, the Levitical priesthood, all right? And only the 24 Levitical priests could go into the temple, and only them could go beyond the veil, open up the door per se, and go into the Holy of Holies. Only them, nobody else. But in 1 Peter, Peter wrote that you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood. It's like kings, okay? All right, now I want to go back to the crown, since we're talking about kingship and you know, a royal priesthood. If you'll remember in Luke, I think chapter 10, Jesus sent out the 72, 2 by 2. So there was 36 groups of 2. 36 times 2 is 72. 72 times 2 is 144, okay? I did a video some time ago about the frequencies of God and about the binaural beats, and in the book of Numbers, it's written about the 12 oxen that pull the 6 covered wagons. And that's when you listen to binaural beats, you have one frequency going this ear, another frequency going this ear, and when they meet in the middle, the temple of God, it creates a hidden, a covered frequency. And these are the frequencies of healing, okay? The 144,000 heal the nations, okay? From the tree of life that they eat from, and there's 12 fruits. So the twin flames, everybody thinks that the 144,000 is all boys, but it's not. And they think that it's literal virgins. It's not. They haven't slept with the false religion, okay? They haven't spiritually prostituted themselves out, all right? The twin flames, they're sent out 2 by 2 of the 144,000. So it's 72,000 pairs, all right? And each one is from a different tribe, all right? Your twin flame and yourself each have a frequency because you sing your song. You have a tune to sing. And when these two songs come together, you pull a covered wagon, all right? The hidden frequency. And these are what healed the nations. It's your testimony. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. So if we go back to what I visioned, the crown, and you look at the 12 circles, you know, and you put them together and they come across like a Vesica Pisces, you know, the Pisces fish. We were just in the age of Pisces, all right? You have the 12,000 tribes here, 12,000 tribes here, all right, because there was 12,000 from each tribe. You have them come together in the Vesica Pisces, and together they are pulling that hidden tone. And 12 times 2 is 24, okay? All right, so if you put all 12 circles together into pairs, that makes 6. 6 times 24 is 144, okay? And there's your 6 covered wagons, all right? And then you have 24, okay? 12,000 times 12,000 is 24,000, but just cut out the zeros. It's 24, all right? Remember, Jesus has made us priests and kings. We have a crown. But if you'll look further into the book of Revelations, it talks about the 24 elders, all right, who are around the throne of God. And they each remove their crowns and lay them at the feet of God, all right? That's showing whenever you're called, and I know this for a fact because it happened to me. Whenever God calls you, there is no more free will, all right? You hand over your free will with joy. Here, you can have it. I know I'd made a mess of my life for 45 years, and whenever he came to me, I was like, here, take it. You are worthy, all right? Because once you experience him and that power, you know he's going to be the one that carries you the rest of your life. It's not going to be by your works, okay? Now let's go back to this number 24, all right? What the number 24 means, the two words that go together, not the meanings of each word. Now, I told you about the language of Hebrew. It's very complicated. It's the language of creation. But what that means together means a pitcher of water, right? And if you'll remember, whenever it speaks about the 144,000, it sounds like rushing waters, all right? Whenever Ezekiel saw his vision of the throne, he heard the rushing waters. God is a fountain of living waters. The word for eye in Hebrew means a fountain, okay? And so let's go back to the Gospel of Mark, where Jesus sent his 2 disciples into town, and he said, whenever you see a man bearing a pitcher of water, follow him into his house. All right, this is the age of Aquarius. We just moved into that age beginning December 21st, 2012. The very first miracle that Jesus ever performed, remember, he tells you the end at the beginning. All right, there was 6 vessels or pitchers of water, and Jesus turned them to wine. And if you remember, the man at the wedding, he said, oh wow, you saved the best wine for last. All right, God saved what's coming, this great awakening, for last, and we're the ones partaking of that new wine. All right, we're the ones sharing that. Those 6 vessels also represent days, 6 days, and a day is 1,000 years. 1,000 years is a day to God. So we're looking at 6,000 years, and it's been 6,000 years since the fall of man. And if you'll remember in Genesis, after the fall, God tells him, he said, my spirit will only contend with man for 120 years because they are mortal. All right? That's 120 Jubilee years. A Jubilee year is 50 years. 120 times 50 is 6,000 years. All right? Not going to be with mortal man anymore. He's only going to be with us. And you are not mortal. You're very old. Remember the 24 elders? That word for elder in Hebrew or Greek, I believe it's Hebrew, means an ancient man. All right? The ones that volunteered, it's been down here for a long, long time. You remember in Job, when God was asking Job, he said, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth, and I did this and I did that? And then later on, God tells Job, he said, surely you know. You were born, you were here, way before that. You are very old, okay? God's letting them know, you are immortal, you've always been, all right? There's also a verse, I believe it is in Psalms, where it says, what can mere mortals do to me? All right? The 24 priests, the 24 elders, it all represents the 144,000 singing their song, healing the nations. Because after the 144,000 comes a large group of people that nobody can count. All right? If you remember the story about the 153 fish that they couldn't hardly pull in, but the net did not bust, meaning they're not going to lose a single fish. All right? Pulling that net in, and there was 153. Okay? 144. 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. Add that to 144, it's 153, okay? The number 153 represents 1.53 billion people, all right? That is the great haul, the great awakening that will happen. Will be 1.53 billion plus the 144,000. I love you all. God bless.